Welcome to the Torqueconomics weekly automotive update covering the week of 15th to 21st of March 2025. Let's dive into our releases and discontinuations monitor. Starting off, we have the facelifted 2025 Ram Heavy Duty in the US. It can be optioned with a Cummins turbo diesel or a Hemi V8. The Cummins engine has been improved from the block up and can accelerate to 60 miles per hour in under 7 seconds. Transmission has also been upgraded from a 6-speed to an 8-speed. The facelift is paired with the normal exterior tweaks. On the other end of the spectrum in terms of emissions, the Renault 5 Turbo 3e will launch sometime in 2027 limited to 1980 units. It will feature a separate powertrain to its normal Renault 5 counterpart. Information is scarce right now, although expect acceleration times to 100 km per hour in the mid-threes, with the car weighing 1.5 tons. The car will have a rally and drift mode to pay homage to its 1980s inspiration. Now with Sony's first car Afeela 1 moving close to its release date in 2026, the car has been premiered in LA, albeit many figures have been withheld. What we do know is that the car will be powered by two 180kW or 241 horsepower motors, and the top trim level will cost $130,000 US. The price does come with fancy features such as huge screens with built-in PlayStation 5 integration, as well as handleless doors. But I am not sure whether it justifies the price tag given it's a Honda under the base. Foxconn, yes, the iPhone maker, is set to ramp up production to build 4 electric vehicles, 2 of which are their own shown on the right called the Model B and Model C, as well as 2 for unnamed Japanese manufacturers. One of the unnamed Japanese manufacturers is suspected to be Nissan, as the company wanted to purchase part of Nissan after Nissan's deal with Honda faltered. Last week, we saw the launch of the new CLA in its EV form. Moto1 wrote an interesting article this week stating the CLA is a compromise given it shares the same platform as the non-EV version. The reason given is that the vehicle will be taller and heavier than required compared to if it was an internal combustion only. Time will tell if the driving experience is as bad as predicted here. However, what is definitely sad news from Mercedes is that the A-Class along with the A45 is going to be discontinued with CLA's current generation. Reminder that the current A45 is the most powerful ICE hot hatch with over 420 horsepower. Now we move on to the headlines of the week. A quick update on F1. We saw McLaren taking home their 50th 1-2 finish perhaps as expected in the Shanghai Grand Prix, although Hamilton took home the Shanghai Sprint. Both races were largely uneventful, with McLaren clearly having the fastest cars this year. The Hammond-Clarkson-May trio of the Old Top Gear and Grand Tour is set to return for another show. However, although the show will be car-related, it will not be in the format we have known to come and love. The new show will likely be a retrospective, whereby the cast members review older episodes and cars. As Clarkson has previously stated, he is not interested in EVs. He compares them to white goods rather than engineering marvels. Moving ahead, more bad news hit Tesla this week. In a survey, 94% of Germans stated they are not willing to purchase a Tesla due to Musk's political actions. As if that was not enough, back in the homeland of USA, Teslas were set ablaze by an arsonist who graffitied a resist over a Las Vegas Tesla facility. The event appeared to be conducted by an isolated person at this time. The growing hatred for the brand has meant Tesla was barred from the Vancouver Auto Show in fear of more retaliation. The tariff and the trade war between the US and Canada certainly have added fuel to the fire. As part of the trade war, Tesla became a prime target as it was removed from the incentives which Canada gives to its citizens for EV purchases. As reported by CarScoops, vehicles from the brand are also subjected to elevated insurance costs as the risk of attacks become higher. Some insurance companies may even blacklist Teslas if the trend remains. The public sentiment isn't the only reason for negative publication surrounding Tesla this week. Fellow YouTuber Mark Rober slammed his Tesla into a Roadrunner-style fake wall, which simulated the background. This is because Tesla is famous for removing LiDAR technology in its vehicles as a cost-cutting measure, instead only using visual cameras that cannot detect distance. Wall Street Journal reports that in an attempt to turn things around, Tesla is developing a cheaper Model Y in China to incentivize consumers with better pricing. This model may be introduced to more markets if it proves to be successful. Unlike Tesla, Chinese automaker BYD is having a wonderful week. It has had a breakthrough in charging systems as fast as a fuel stop. The new 1.36 megawatt system can recharge a car with 400 km of range within 5 minutes. As a result, BYD's share price soared to all-time highs. The 6-month gain for the company is now up to 65%. BYD, the once copycat of other manufacturers, is now pausing its Mexican plant, citing fears that its technology could be leaked to the US. Reuters reports this week, Chinese peers in Zeekr and XPENG have also made advancements in that they are testing cars with L3 technology on the road, matching companies such as Mercedes and Waymo. Moving on to a slightly more negative tone, BMW expects a $1.1 billion hit to its bottom line from American tariffs this year. The company may look to pass these costs on to consumers. Reuters reports Mazda will look to partner up with more companies in its new cars to keep costs down. The company will also try to maximize utilization of existing production lines in EV manufacturing. Nissan is cutting 20% of its managerial workforce to save costs among its turmoil with the new CEO's first 2 weeks. Siemens, the German industrial company, will cut 6,000 jobs in automation and EV charging business as EV sales slow. The slowing EV sales has also meant Audi will no longer meet the target to not launch new ICE vehicles by 2026. Audi has also decided to cut 7,500 jobs in administrative and developmental roles by 2029. In other news, Amazon's self-driving unit Zoox was tested out by Wall Street Journal this week as its cabs hit the street of San Francisco. This comes behind Waymo but ahead of Tesla. However, the company isn't off to a great start, as recalls have already hit after one of the cabs struck 2 motorcycles stemming from a brake failure. And that is a perfect transition to our "they just cannot make it right" section. General Motors recalled over 90,000 vehicles over transmission control valve issues. Both Cadillac models and the Chevrolet Camaro are affected. Ford have announced recalls of over 50,000 vehicles including various models such as the Bronco, Edge, Explorer, and F-150 due to faulty engine intake valves. Lastly, Tesla has started a competition between attackers and its own manufacturing between which can break their vehicles first, as it recalls most Cybertrucks due to front trim detaching. Now, that was all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and please look forward to weekly videos on an ongoing basis. On that bombshell, goodbye.